Welcome back. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Indeed, we're right in the middle of the deep, talking about ambition, the deep waters of ambition, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to know, what is the wrong side of ambition? Can ambition be good or bad? Are you ambitious? What are the things that come with it? I want to hear you speak to me right here on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Have you been with somebody ambitious before? What did it feel like? What are the pros and cons of being an ambitious person? Why are men attracted to ambitious women or not? Yeah, I know when it comes to ambitious men in society, it feels like men are expected to be ambitious, normally. But when we flip the table around, why is it that the society have mixed feelings when it comes to women who are ambitious? Calling today on 0705 993 7937. 0705 993 7937. I saw call coming in earlier. Please do well to call back on the show. I would love to hear your thoughts on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Without further ado, let's get right into the introduction. This is more like my favorite part of the show, where I get to actually introduce my special guest of the day. My special guest is a transformational coach, a life coach, a business coach. If I start to break down this coaches thing, I want to say children coach, but she's not children. She loves children, loves women, and loves people generally. She loves to see that people are actually growing. She loves to see that people are actually living their best life, growing personally in their career and in life generally. As a life and business coach, she has a vision to see people grow, even individually and collectively in their lives and businesses. And she fulfills this vision through authoring, content creation, and coaching programs. She is also the recipient of several awards and recognitions, including being named Leading Ladies Africa Spotlight for Impact. She also recently finished her LLB program at Bafemi Awolowo University. And because of my special guest's interest in human rights, she served as a consultant in the multi-stakeholders process initiated by the National Human Rights Commission, the Nigerian Police Force, and the Police Service Commission, and non-state actors in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so much more to say about this woman, or this lady, or this ambitious woman. But I'll just leave it right there. I have with me in the studio Abayomi Adiola Della. Hello.
Hi. Hello, Deborah.
Della. Is it Cinderella? Okay, see me at the form reading.
Try.
See, Cinderella.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
So good to meet you.
Same here.
Finally,
So good to have you.
Yeah.
You are one of a woman, because to get a hold of you, Oluwa. Hey. I sweat, guys. Now, guys, I know what it means when a man is chasing a woman. I chased. I chased and I caught it. But it's so good to have you. Now you're in my nest now.
Yeah,
I can do with you whatever I want to do.
Yeah, you have me.
I have you for this 1 hour.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so persistent.
So good to have
really
you.
Appreciate
I
you.
definitely am so positive about you. You speaking impact. Helping us drop some impact today on the show. So I can't wait for us to dive into these deep conversations. So ambition. How do we know if we're ambitious?
Well, I think that you have done a very good job to lay a proper foundation for this.
Okay.
And how do you know you're ambitious? You're ambitious, right? I think that ambition has to do with really wanting more than you normally should settle for as a human being. Aside from the fact that Nigerian would normally make you ambitious, like if you're in Nigeria, you would just automatically be ambitious, right? Aside from that, I think that there are people who really want to do more, who really want to be more, right? Aside the recognition that the world will give, they also want to impact lives, and they feel like they can only do that wearing different caps, right? And that's basically the truth. So if you stay in just a room, you would only be subjected to the people in that room. But the moment you decide to step into other rooms, it becomes an opportunity for you to spread your wings and fly. Yeah. So that way you're able to meet with other birds. You're able to share your giftings. You're able to share the things that you have with them, right? And it makes it easier. I think being ambitious is just really recognizing that you can be more and actually now going for it. That's where it is. That's where it lies.
Interesting. I like the way you use the fly and birds.
Yeah.
It makes it sound really, really beautiful. But the people who are, in quote, not ambitious, is it okay to say they're not ready to fly?
Well, I feel like in as much as we want to say there are people who want to fly and meet with other people, there are also people who are comfortable staying in a room. But what they do is that they draw other people into that room by what they have. And I find it really intriguing because it's sort of like a superpower where you can stay in a room and you're able to drag other people into that room, right? So it's one thing for you to say you want to settle in this room. It's another thing for you to say you want to get more people in the room. And then it's another thing for you to say you want to create more rooms for yourself.
Or you can just say, I want to just be in
You
the
just want to
room.
be in the room and just be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every single person has a level of ambition, and it's okay. We have to be comfortable with it. We have to be comfortable with that. There are people who just want to be with their family and just let it end there. Even if they have like a 9 to 5, yeah, that's fine. But their primary decision is to like stay in that room and just be. And we must be comfortable with that, right? While it's not the norm, it's not something we see happen regularly, but it's something that we should allow.
So
right?
let me bring that to home now. If it's you say some people it's okay to just be, why are you not just being, girl? Why are you flying left, right, center?
I would use the words of my friend, right? He said, I think that some people are not allowed to just be on their own or just be, right? Just be in places. Some people are not wired that way. And I think that that's it for me. I'm not wired to like just be with one thing. So today I'm talking about tech. Tomorrow I'm talking about gender. Tomorrow I'm talking about education and many other things. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's all around what we're wired to do, how we're wired to resonate with the society and also give to people based on what we have, right? And again, you can't give what you don't have. So based on what you have, sometimes you feel too full, right? So you want to like give, you want people to receive from what you have. And it's not necessarily because you want to be all over the place. It's because you feel like you have something to give to the world and they need to enjoy from that thing that you have received, right, on your inside. And for me, I think that's what it is. Just recognizing that I have so much and people
So the people, how do people react to that? Do they come to you and say, Auntie Della,
tell me about
do they?
I get that like every time they're like, you're doing too much. I mean, right now it has reduced a little bit more because I mean I've been in a season of my life where I've just been like quiet and all that. But I mean, when I'm out there, people are like, they're like, you just like give it to us back to back, and I'm like, I don't give you how you take it, but
Yeah.
how we go do now. So I'm like, yeah, I get that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Men, women, who just say they're like, you're doing a lot. But I recognize something anyway that some of them say it from the point of, Della, don't kill yourself. Can you take it easy? Some of them say it from a point of insecurity to say, she's doing a lot, I'm not doing a lot. But I try to make them see that we're not all made to do a lot. Right, wherever you find yourself, just be comfortable with it, right? And there's some other people who are saying, oh, Della, I love what you're doing a lot, but I wish I could also do that. But since I can't do it, like, you go for it, I'll be here pushing you.
Wow.
I have people tell me that all the time.
That is interesting. Yeah. I like that you can see it from all those perspectives and not just say, are they envious of me or are they saying it to spite me? Even though there might
be that. Yeah. So you just like try, because if you look at that all the time, trust me, you're not going to do anything. You just feel like, oh, everybody's saying I'm doing too much, so let me just kill it.
Yes.
No. Sometimes you have to recognize that people will not always be comfortable with who you are, right? And there's a poet that says that you should not dim your light to make other people feel comfortable, right? So it's either you like own your light and you stay with it, or you dim your light and let other people take the room. So you have to decide.
Interesting. So how about your man? Does your man think you do too much sometimes?
Well, before I got here, I'm like, I wish he was here anyways, because he would like he would be able to respond better. But I think we've had that conversation before.
Really?
Yeah, we've had the conversation
What led to that conversation? I'm so curious.
It was around, I used to have a lot of events, here and there, and he would just be with me, helping me. And I tell people a lot of times that many of the things that I do, I never do them without him saying, okay, how do you think? What do you think I should do? And he will be like, do it this way. And every single time I've had to listen to him, it has actually like been positive.
Yes.
Right? So I make people understand that in as much as he might not be doing a lot like I am, it's still a function of that every single thing that I've had to do today, I've sought his opinion one way or the other, and it has worked. Like, that's the highlight for me. So I feel like people need to recognize that, and that's one thing I recognized early that I really love, is that your partner has to be like really supportive for you to say you want to be ambitious or you want to dream. No matter how high you dream, if your partner is not is not supportive, you're going to lose it at some point. Yeah, you're going to die down at some point, because when you fly too much, they'll say you're flying too much. When you go too high, you say. So my babe has like people he listens to, people who mentor him, and these are people who are also in the same category that he currently is in. So having women that they have to support, having women that they have to be with, and it's not like they're not doing other things.
Yes.
Man, say if I begin to talk about the things that my babe does, then you'll be like, why is he finding the time to support this woman?
Wow.
But you would understand at the end of the day, it's partnership. Two people coming together to say, we're going to make this work. I know your dreams, you know my dreams, and we're going to look at how to complement each other. And it just pretty much works.
I love all the positivity that comes with this conversation, but again, it's deep waters, and it's not all about the positive energy. Sometimes we want to shake it up. We want to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to know about the wrong side of ambition. You know, now that you've said all of these things, would you consider ambition a good thing or a bad thing? But before you make a comment on that, I want to remind my listeners and viewers that this is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and you can join the conversation. Actually, you can call in on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Can you relate with my guest of the day, Della? Do you have personal opinions and thoughts and questions? She's a transformational coach, by the way, and she has a lot to say about that. So please do also call in and join the conversation. So can ambition be good or bad?
Okay, so I think that there are gray areas when it comes to ambition. A lot of times we need to recognize that being ambitious is not something that you will just wake up one day and say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. It's about finding where that comfort zone is for you, recognizing that this is what I want to do, this is how much impact I want to make, and then I'll go for it. Ambition can become a bad thing when it's selfish. So what people do not realize is that a lot of people want to do things, a lot of times want to gather things for themselves, right? So they want to say, oh, I just want to become this, I want to do this, I want to do that.
And what is wrong with that?
Right? But what is wrong with that is at the end of the day, it's not sustainable. Because what begins to drive you is the results. And when the results don't come, it breaks you. Right? But when you think about the long-term goals of what you're doing, right? Think about the people it affects, right? You must think about the world as a compendium of like stakeholders, people, young people, old people, people within your age range, right? Every single person is a stakeholder in whatever thing you're doing. So you need to see it that way. The moment you begin to see it that way, it makes it easier for you, it makes it sustainable for you. Because now it's not just about the positive results. It's also about, well, I'm having challenges along the way, I'm standing up and I'm going to it. But on days that it feels like this is a selfish ambition for yourself, if you go through any challenge along the line, you would be so moved to give up. Right, because there's nobody tied to you. You can pack up and just decide you're no more doing.
So are you saying ambition is not selfish?
No, I feel like when you can be ambitious for a selfless cause. Yeah, you can be ambitious for a selfless cause.
But it's me first before others. So why should I be looking out for me first and my own satisfaction before others?
Well, I think it depends on every single person and what they choose. But at the end of the day, we also need to look at our environment. Because you cannot thrive on your own. You can't thrive without thinking about other people. You can't thrive without thinking about how your actions or inactions affect other people. And so if you view life from that lens, it makes it easier. It makes things clearer. Because now you can see that no matter how much decisions you make, it's going to affect people. And it means that you also have to factor them in. So whether or not you say you want to have like you want to have a selfish ambition, you want to decide to do things just for yourself, it's going to affect other people. And
what if it doesn't?
It would many of the times, because you're selfish and you don't care about other people. You don't care how.
No, it could be self-love too. There's a thin line between self-love and selfish.
Yes.
So I'm going to say, if it's not affecting other people, if it's not affecting other people and it's a self-love thing, ambition, that you're just doing things for yourself, is it okay?
Well, yeah. But again, talking about sustainability. I'm always about sustainability. So
you say I can't sustainably love myself?
If you sustainably love yourself without thinking about some other people, it doesn't give you a lot of time.
If I don't have love, how can I give love?
Well, of course, you would have love before you give love, but keeping the love at yourself is what we're talking about. So you're saying self-love,
So I must
keeping the
share the
love at
love,
yourself.
sha, pa,
Yeah,
pa.
you have to share the love. The love has to go around, because I think a lot of times that's what gives you responsibility for other people, and that's what impact is all about. So if we're talking about being ambitious for impact, right, you have to think about other people. And even when you want to love yourself, right, you must understand that in loving others, many times you're also loving yourself. Because see, let me give you an instance.
Okay.
You love yourself so much, you go on vacation, you're posting on Instagram, and everybody is seeing it, you're loving it, but somehow your family members are there and they're suffering. Right, black task is going to come whether you like it or not. If you say you want to love yourself from now to tomorrow, you don't want to think about other people, somehow it's going to come. Auntie Deborah, for now, please, my account, help me, just service the account. Before you know, everybody is on your neck. And you know what that does? You raise yourself high, and every other person is low there. But the thing is, they'll keep dragging you down. They'll
So
keep
what if I
dragging
remove
you
my
down.
hand? Remove my hand from there.
I don't
Nobody
want to
should
do
owe
that.
me.
I don't want
No
to do
owe
that.
me. No gift for anybody.
I don't want to do that, but that's how I see it. So everybody's on a journey, on a ladder, right, of life. And somehow there are people below you, there are people where you are, there are people ahead of you.
Yes.
Right. So somehow someone has to pull you up. You have to pull other people up. If not, they're going to hold your leg, and there's no way you're going to. There's no way. I always like to visualize life in that perspective.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so that you see it.
Interesting. Where does over ambitiousness now come in?
Well, overambitiousness comes in when you're not ready to follow the process. Right, when you feel like you can have everything. Of course you can have everything, but I mean, when you start to feel like no matter what happens, no matter the stumbling block on the way, you can just go over it, right? You want to use connections for everything. Connections are really good. I'm not saying they're not good. I mean, there are places where you have to use connections, but you have to get to a point where you understand that there's a process for everything. But meeting a maybe secondary school girl who tells you she wants to be the president of Nigeria tomorrow, the possibility is there, but I mean, what are the realistic steps you're taking towards it, right? What are the things you're looking at? You have to understand that for a woman or for a man, there are conditions that would either hold you back or will move you forward. You have to consider that. What's the time like? What are the things that need to give? Every single person has to sacrifice one thing or the other for something to come up. But the moment you feel like you're not ready to sacrifice, you're not ready to do anything, you're not ready to, you just want to go any length, right, to get what you need.
Now,
then it becomes
sometimes,
exactly, it becomes overambition. Overambition is not saying I want all the good things of life. Yeah, you can have all the good things. I want the good things of life. I want all the good things of life.
Me too.
Right? Right. But I mean, that's not being overambitious, because it will take process, and I'm ready to take that time. I'm ready to go through that process. I'm ready to say this is what I want, and I'm going to go for it. Right. So everybody should be able to outline the difference, and then it becomes a problem for some people when they now say, oh, you want all the good things of life, you want blah, you want this. It's not even possible. How will you even get it? You're being overambitious. Nah, I don't think that's being overambitious. If you think you can get all the things you want to get, you would think based on the process of life you're currently following, you could get to where you want to get to. You could become who you want to become. You could do all the things you want to do. Then I mean, why not?
Okay. When it comes to ambition, and especially in a relationship setting, there always seems to be some kind of some imbalance there sometimes, especially for people who are not very self-aware. And some people have had to choose between, oh, should I maintain this relationship, or should I just be ambitious and follow my dreams? What would you like to say about that?
Well, I understand.
Have you ever been in that situation before?
Yes.
Really?
Especially with friendships, with friendships.
You've had to choose between your friendships and your
my dreams. Yeah, and I understand that sometimes you realize that you have friends that there are certain conversations you can't have with them. Not because I mean they're not your age mate, or you didn't go to the same school. I mean, you had all of those things, but maybe your exposure is different, right? Maybe your beliefs are different. For instance, you have friends that if today they want to get into maybe a political position, you could easily call up somebody and be like, oh, how much does it even cost to get a form to join this particular party or something, right? But you know yourself, you know that there's a process you need to follow. It might not be as smooth as some other people, right? And you also know what you want. Right, you believe that for some people, just like we said earlier, they don't just want much, they just want to be there. But you know what you want, right? And so you have maybe a couple of friends who feel like, Angela, just calm down now, what's even doing you, how are you? So there are two things to it. One, it's either you drop off. Two, it's either you bring them to your level. And for me, all the time, what works is bringing them to my level. So I'm just like, can you people not see what I'm seeing? Like, there's gold here. Can you people not see what I'm seeing? This is what I want to do. And they're like, Della, this thing you're saying doesn't even make sense. But the good thing is that a lot of times you have like sounding boards around you who are able to say, no, Della, go for it. I believe in you. You can do it. But when the voices that are against what you want to do is more than the voices that are supporting you, becomes a problem. That's when you need to drop off. So you need to recognize, the point between telling people about your vision and every day they're always saying, no, Della, this thing you're doing, it doesn't make sense. So we call them firelighters or firefighters. People who fight your fire and just like bring it down. And there are people who light your fire. Like you talk to them and you tell them, this is what you want to do. And like, Della, let's go for it. When do you want to do it? When do you want to? You need those people around you. So you need to be able to take either action, drop them off, or just bring them up to par with you. Going down with them is not going to be the best decision. Trust me. Canceling that idea, killing that vision is not going to do anything, because one day they would also see something that will expose them to what you saw years ago, right? And you don't want to be left behind.
So when is it okay to give up on that? Because now you're saying, oh, bring them up to speed,
Yeah.
but when is it okay to pick your relationships, over ambition? Or when is it okay to give up, on your ambition, or to dial down,
on the ambition?
Which is
I think that first you have to also look at how whatever it is you want to do aligns with where you currently are. There are times that people tell you, these things you want to do, no, Del, I don't think it's for now. Then you know that, oh, it's actually not for now. So weighing the opportunities around you, weighing the resources around you, weighing what's the majority saying a lot of times, and sometimes prayers help. Yeah, a lot of times prayers help, right? So you need to maybe talk to God about it. What exactly would you have me doing this particular time?
Yeah.
And when it comes to, understanding your ambition, you need direction. You need to know that what you are doing is what works. In the business world, we say do your research, right? Do your research. Right now, in the season where I'm currently in, with the people I'm currently in, is this going to be the right decision?
Interesting. Speaking of decision, let's make a decision to take a call. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Joseph, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thanks for calling back.
Okay, something I want to ask, is it something that we can dream about, that ambition or something like that?
Is it something you can what?
Dream about.
Dream about. Okay, how do you mean dream about? Like in your sleep?
Like when you sleep, you see yourself, maybe leading thousands of people standing in their front of the video and something.
Okay, but it never comes to fruition.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I get that.
So what is that? Dreaming about.
I think maybe dreaming about you doing
ambitious.
something. Maybe you dreaming about becoming the president tomorrow, or you dreaming about. Well, I think for some people it happens. Yeah. So I think the person is asking from like the superficial, supernatural aspect, like where you are dreaming about something and you now wake up and be like, oh, maybe I need to do this.
Yes.
So maybe sometimes you see yourself on the streets giving children food, or you see yourself with twins and you now be like, tomorrow God wants me to have, I'm going to have twins.
Yes.
I'm going to be pregnant with twins. So yeah, I think for who just called, I think it's very possible you dream about things, because sometimes dreams are a reflection of what we have thought about over time, or what really burns our heart, passion, what we're passionate about. And two, it comes from revelations from God. So you want to probe yourself more, right? This thing I've seen, number one, is this something I've thought about over time? Is this something I could try? Looking at where I currently am, is it realistic? Two, you have to think about what's God saying about this, because of course it's dream. Things happen when we sleep that we don't know about. So you need to ask questions around.
So you can be ambitious in your dream and lazy in real life, basically. God help us.
God help us.
Is it true that ambitious women struggle to find life partners?
Okay. Do you know that sound from TikTok?
I don't know. Okay.
All right. Struggle to find partners. That's a very tricky question, right? Because we hear a lot of times people say, oh, before you blow, find one man, and just so that you will not blow finish and you will not be finding. But the thing is that when you're over ambitious or ambitious, the men that than, or how do I put it now? The men that should be tailored to who you are at that moment are the men that will find you. So it's not a function of being overambitious or not being overambitious, because it's just like them saying, as a woman that is rich, will you find somebody that will, of course, there are men that are richer than you, or maybe even as rich as you are, that would marry you. There are even people that are not even as rich as you are that will still marry you for love, not necessarily because they want your money. So I don't think it's a function of you being overambitious, or although people have like a lot of bias about it.
Yes.
They're like, if you're with a woman who is overambitious or who is ambitious, she's going to override you, she's not going to be submissive, you will not be able to be doing yes ma, you become an errand boy and all that. But a lot of times I always say that it comes from the place of insecurity for the guys when they say that. So when you say I can't be with a woman who's overambitious, then you have to check yourself, right? Are you trying to say you cannot manage her? Are you trying to say you can't handle her? Handle in the sense that you cannot support her vision, you can't be there for her, you can't cover her as a person. She can't come to you with great ideas and you're like, oh, let's do it this way. You can't consult for her. You know, there are a lot of ways that a man can be there for a woman who's ambitious. And if a man cannot do it, that's when they begin to raise questions and start to say, the woman is, you know, being too, she's not even submissive, she's not loving, and then self-esteem issues, insecurities, right? But I think that if you have the right resources to manage such a woman, to handle such a woman, to protect such a woman, to provide for such a woman, and provide provision in the sense of not just financial needs, but emotional support, mental support, social support, right? Then we'll not have questions like that. But I don't think it's a function of a woman being ambitious or not.
Okay, so maybe it's a function of our society,
Yeah.
and how we perceive ambition,
yes,
especially
yes.
from a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
We'll speak on that in a
Definitely.
bit. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. I still have in the studio with me Abayomi Della, transformation coach, life coach, business coach, and more. And she's been helping us understand the topic of the day: ambition, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What is wrong with ambition? Is ambition good or bad? I know so far some of these questions have been answered, and you've been getting a clearer perspective on the topic of the day. But if you still have questions and thoughts, you agree with some of the things Della said or not, if you have contrasting opinion, you have personal experiences, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. So please do also calling on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Speaking of the society, society usually have mixed feelings when it comes to ambition, especially from our agenda's point of view. And now you said, oh, we shouldn't blame, it's not about you being ambitious, you know, getting a partner as a lady, ambitious lady. It's not about you being ambitious. It's probably maybe about the society's perception. And if you look at it, society kind of governs a lot of things around us. You know, if society perceives ambitious women as this, how about usually it's safer for a woman to just say, you know what, maybe I'll be ambitious in my closet, or I'm not even ambitious. These days, you hear women say, they will say, "I'm strong." I'm like, I'm not strong, bro. I'm not even
strong.
Independent. I don't strong me. You hear things like that. Yeah, but before you answer that, let's take a caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good to have you on the
Good
show. Good evening. Thanks for calling. My name is Deborah on Deep Waters. What's your name?
My name is Ikenna.
Oh God, Ikenna. Jesus, why didn't I get to this?
Like you sing when you talk.
It's my way of singing to the world.
Okay, nice one.
Good to have you on the show, Ikenna. Been a minute.
Yeah, I joined a little late though, but I think I can piece together what the conversation is all about.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, there's something wrong with not being ambitious. Let me start from there. There's got to be something wrong with you not being ambitious.
Really?
Now, the challenge is, yes.
Why?
You can't just be existing because you can't just be existing for the fun of existing and be coasting along the day as they come. You have to have plans. You have to have, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, where you see yourself in 5, 10, 15, 20 years' time, how you want to retire, where you want to retire into, the way you want to have your family set out when you're retired. You have to be thinking about all these. And as you think about them, it guides and kind of directs what you do by the day. Mm-hmm. Though you now have to have a lot of moderation around it. You're not existing in this world alone. The world doesn't revolve around you, or is it about yourself? Mm-hmm. So there has got to be, I think, again, when you're when you were talking with the guest regarding how you factor in people around you or the society,
Yes,
you're
she
thinking
mentioned.
about your ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there has to be that moderation. The challenge is being able to, know the cut between when you're now pushing it too hard or when you're not doing enough. And yes, there are some societal expectations and all of that. In the bid to want to make money or to be very career successful, you might tend to lose sight of some other societal expectations, like maybe building a family and all of that. So you have to also think about all those ones. And there are also some subtle gender expectations. For instance, now the aggression that I expect a guy to have towards having money and being overtly career successful should be a little different from how it should be for a lady. This is a natural.
Ikena,
Women,
you are just
Disclaimer.
you are just eating your cake and having it. That's what you're trying to do.
Hear me out.
Oh, don't be ambitious. So
But
it's
don't do
wrong.
too much.
No, don't be too much. See,
What is too much?
It's possible for
For a man,
to
a man cannot be
take care
too
of-
ambitious, but a woman can be too ambitious. Why?
Let me explain. It's
Explain,
impossible
please.
for a woman. It's impossible for a man to be able to take care of children, groom children, the way a woman can.
And let the woman bother about that now. She means we are taking care of the children, and we still want to pursue our careers. Let's leave it for us now.
Now, in a typical family, man and woman, both of you are trying to run at the same kind of pace, achieve the same kind of thing. It won't work now. Your children will suffer. One party has to be a little slower. Let me tell you now.
Why can't the man be slower?
Okay, now I'm going to do a mental check of what I'm saying. Hear me carefully. For every very big successful woman you know, the husband is in the background or a little slower than she is. Both of them are not vibing at the same pace or the same level. I can take a bet on it. Take every successful woman, and I don't want to mention names, you're on public radio, but think about it quietly by yourself. Every big successful woman, whether she's become a this or become a that, the husband is not as fast as she is, or not as ambitious or as successful.
I think
now
we're right on that one.
So every household has to have a balance. If it's the guy that God has projected his career to move, the woman will take a little step back to balance out things.
All right,
if it's
Kena.
the woman that God has projected her own career to move,
the man will slow down. All right, Ikena.
Both of them must have to understand that it's one person is ahead.
Interesting, Ikena. Thank you so much for sharing.
Balance too.
All right, I have to go. I'm time is on my side. Thank you so much for sharing that. Do you think, finally, in just one word, do you think women should die down or check their ambition for men or for the household or for the society?
I think that I would love to go with part of what Ikena said, where he said that if it's the man that needs to slow down, I think that's where the balance is.
Nobody can. You cannot be moving on the
It
same
should
frequency.
not be. No, because a lot of times, which is one understanding that I've gotten to realize over time, which is that something, I mentioned at the beginning, something has to give, right?
Yes.
Whether we like it or not, right?
Yes.
So if both of us want to go on the same frequency, then we're saying our family, we'll have to find a way to manage it. So maybe get a nanny, but we need to realize that there's a point in a child's life where they need parental touch. And it has to be, whether it's the man or it's the woman, there has to be a balance. So we're not saying don't go all out, right? But we're saying go all out, but put into consideration the things that you have left behind, right? So whether it's your friendship, whether it's your friendship sometimes have to suffer for some things to work. So even if you're in school, you're studying, sometimes your friends need to realize that this person's in school, let me just cut them some slack. So you need to be able to find a balance.
Thank you so much, Abayomi Adiola Della, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it and for sharing your thoughts with us. Unfortunately, time is not on our side. How can people find you, the transformational coach, on socials?
All right, so on every platform, I am Didela. Just spell it together. I am Thedella. Yeah, so I
Okay.
am the Della on Instagram, Twitter, and every other platform.
Of course, she's the Della and I am Cinderella. Thank you so much for joining me to all call and be a part of the show. I appreciate it. I hope you're able to learn one or two things about ambition, which at the end of the day, we come to a conclusion that you should just find balance in all of
Yeah.
it. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll be live again on Friday at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for another amazing show for you. So yeah, get ready. You can watch a repeat of this episode on YouTube. Search for Deborah Waters on YouTube. And of course, you'll be able to watch it by tonight or tomorrow morning. And you can follow us at deepwaters_podcast on Instagram and Facebook. I am Deborah Waters. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.